Welcome back. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune working on a new two-track plan to end the record-long partial shutdown at the Department of Homeland Security. It would affect all of DHS except parts of ICE and Customs and Border Protection. That funding would be handled later through a reconciliation package, bypassing the filibuster. The president endorsing the plan, writing on Truth Social, "I am asking that the bill be on my desk no later than June 1st. The Senate convening last hour for a pro forma session, sending their bipartisan deal to the House for a second time. The House will meet in about 15 or so minutes with their own session, all in an attempt to pass a measure with a vote later today to open the DHS. Joining me now is North Dakota Senator Kevin Cramer. Senator, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. You are right in the middle of it.
Pleasure.
Can you tell us how things are playing out?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because the deal that the House is going to have the opportunity to vote on today is the one they rejected, basically, last week. But I think with the president weighing in so strongly, I can't imagine that there will be anybody, any Republicans, at least in the House of Representatives, that won't support this deal. It makes all the sense in the world, given the obstruction of the Democratic senators, that this is pretty much the only path we can go on. But we have to get on it quickly, Maria, because June 1st is, that's a couple of months. That's a couple months away, right? And so we have a lot going on in the meantime. But the sooner we can get the bulk of DHS funded and operating normally, the better, the faster we can get to the big pieces of CBP, of course, and ICE, and we can do that with just simple straight line party line votes with budget reconciliation. But the process of budget reconciliation does take time, and that's kind of what the 2 or 3 month delay is it's working the process through so that we can, well, frankly, so we can fund ICE and CBP, not just for this year, but well into the future, to make sure that Democrats can never do this to the country again.
Well, I mean, look, you say that this is going to be the same bill that the House rejected on Friday night. I mean, I spoke with Lisa McClain, and she was very disturbed by that bill. Here's what she said to me on Sunday. Watch this. Watch this.
Well, I'm not going to roll the dice on passing another reconciliation bill with our national security. We're going to fund it. But explain to me why the funding is at zero in the bill that we got in the wee hours of the night, and that all the authority has been taken away from Homeland. It's not going to happen. House Republicans are not going to let that happen. Let's pass a clean CR for 60 days. Since we're in the middle of negotiation, it's passed the House in a bipartisan fashion. We even had some Democrats come along with us. The Senate seems to be willing to negotiate. Let's stop taking hostages while we negotiate. Let's pay the people, but let's make sure that our borders are secure and the American people are safe.
Do you have the support for a reconciliation package before the midterms?
We have a one-seat majority, Maria. I hope we could do a reconciliation, but hope isn't a strategy.
So, Senator, what about that? I mean, how will this be different? How will this be different than what she was just upset about in the bill that she saw Friday night?
Well, it'll be different in that this bill has passed the United States Senate unanimously with the support of Donald Trump. And what she's talking about, I'd be fine with a 30-day CR while we negotiate, but we're still negotiating with the same people who hate ICE. They don't like law enforcement. I mean, they've squarely put their support behind the murderers and the rapists that have come here. As long as they came here illegally, it seems like violent crime is fine with Democrats. So the reality is, let's take the wins that we can get, and then negotiate the other parts of it. It's really no different, other than we're going to largely open DHS, and by the way, still be able to fund with last year's reconciliation package, fund the important enforcement on ICE and Border Patrol throughout at least this fiscal year. So at least we're keeping it open while we negotiate, rather than keeping it closed while we negotiate with obstinate people on the Democratic side in the Senate.
Well, I'll tell you, you are really up against a lot of barriers here with your colleagues on the left. They do not want President Trump's agenda to succeed. I just spoke with Ron Johnson a few minutes ago, and, I said to him, look, I mean, I don't think initially he came into this thinking, I want to take down the filibuster. I mean, I don't think he felt that way for a long time, and I know there's not a lot of support among you and your colleagues to actually remove the filibuster. But when you consider the fact that virtually everybody believes your colleagues on the left will remove it if they return to power, And I said to him, how are you going to feel if, in fact, they do return to power and they remove the filibuster? He said, we're going to feel awful. He said, basically, we're going to feel like schmucks, is what he said, actually, on the air. And we were all debating, oh, God, what does this mean? I mean, I ask you the same thing. How are you going to get around this? How are you going to move forward, move the country forward, when you've got this constant Trump-hating and Trump agenda-hating resistance?
Well, no, for sure, TDS is very, very real, and it's rampant, and it's rampant in the newsrooms across America, even in rural America in some cases. It's you're always going to have a media that hates Donald Trump, and that makes it difficult. Even at that, though, he's still running the country. He's our president. He won overwhelmingly in the last election, something that a lot of editors seem to have forgotten. However, having said all of that, the filibuster is a thing that small state senators like me value so much, because the Senate itself is designed to level the playing field and distribute power equally in the United States Senate, state to state. That's a really important tool for us. To Ron's point, what I would say about that is that if my neighbor told me he's going to burn my house down tomorrow, I'm not going to burn it down today just to beat him to the punch. I think we have to stand bigger and taller than that. In fact, I think in some respects, Maria, the Democrats are trying to bait us into doing exactly that, so that we'll be to blame for blowing up the filibuster and ruining the United States Senate. But I do think there are Democratic senators, and we've had some conversations just in the last 24 hours with some of them, that are prepared to stand up and say, no, we do not support blowing up the filibuster. And that's really important. I've always thought they're out there. I think that they've had a hard time standing up to their leader on this point, but they're going to have to if they want to maintain the dignity and the integrity of the United States Senate.
Yeah, very good. I like that. I'm glad that we addressed that. Let me get your take on the Clarity Act. Of course, we've been here before. Crypto prices this morning are trading this way, but we continue to face this critical deadline for the Clarity Act in the coming weeks. Are you still trying to finalize a deal over the near term? You've got this key dispute over stablecoin rewards while market structure remains unresolved. What can you tell us?
Right. Well, the two do sort of go hand in hand. Obviously, we're trying to deal with stablecoin rewards in the market structure bill. And unfortunately, to this point, the crypto side of the ledger has not come on board with the compromises. They think it's too much. But at the same time, Maria, as you know better than anybody probably in the world, our diversified system of financial services with the guardrails that we have, I think, has been the engine of democracy and the engine of capitalism in the United States. We have to protect that. And any other entity, and I'm all supportive of crypto, I'm supportive of blockchain technologies, but if we're going to open things wide open and let somebody compete with our banks that don't have the same guardrails as the banks and the protections for the investors, for the consumers, it's too much risk, and they're either going to have to get on board or they're going to end up getting run over, I'm afraid. So I'm still hopeful a deal can be worked out. What we hope to do is shortly after the Easter break is we're planning a hearing, and that's something I think is really important, Maria, so that the American public and the media can watch the negotiations take place on, in live and in living color, and that I think helps us flesh things out a little bit more. Because you'll always negotiate from your position, your hardened position, I think, apart from the spotlight. But it's time for the banks and the crypto industry and the policymakers to have this duke it out in public. I hope that sort of breaks up the logjam and gets us to a bill, because we really do have to pass something that protects people, but also encourages the investment that we want here in the United States and not other places.
Of course. I want to move on, but real quick, let me just close this out. I thought it was already agreed upon, Senator, that the crypto players would not pay rewards. Has it been agreed upon?
Yeah, so that's a great point. It's not so much the crypto players as it is sort of the ancillary services, third parties, the PayPals of the world. That distinction is I think what's got people a little bit hung up. I see. And
got it.
It has to apply, I think, to the whole value chain.
Okay, because right now they could pay the rewards because if they've got third-party players.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Okay. All right. We'll keep following it. I know this is really top of
You've
mind.
exhausted my knowledge of the topic.
No. Senator, let me move on to Kevin Warsh. We understand that your committee, the banking committee, has a date. Are you targeting the week of April 13th for Kevin Warsh's confirmation hearing?
Well, that's the plan at this point, but plans get changed a lot. I think it's important to have the hearing. The hearing doesn't need to be held up by the shortage of one vote. In fact, I think the hearing and Maria, I'm such a strong advocate for complete transparency of the discussions. Obviously, some things are best done privately, but when you get to this point, having the hearing I think is important, and I think that will help move the ball forward. Because at the moment that we have the breakthrough, whether it deals with the charges against him getting dropped, or whether it's Tom Tillis coming to a different conclusion, we have to be ready so that there's not a second of gap between the expiration of Jay Powell's term and the beginning of Kevin Warsh's term. So the hearing's appropriate.
Yeah, of course. And, especially when you've got Jay Powell over there threatening that, well, listen, if it's not confirmed, I'm going to stay around. I'm going to stick around.
That's right. And I do think that when people see Kevin Warsh, he's so impressive, Maria. He's got a great background, but he's also he's charismatic. He sounds as smart as he is. And I think that will help. Again, the public hearing, I think, will help add some pressure, even to Democratic members, quite honestly. There's no reason Democrats should not vote for him. And at the same time, with this little intra-party hang-up that we have with Senator Tillis, which is entirely his right, I don't begrudge him that.
Yeah.
But I do think that we should be able to break the logjam, and a hearing, I think, goes a long way toward that.
Well, I think that's a great point, and we agree on Kevin Warsh. He's been on this program, and he is obviously an esteemed colleague of many on the Fed, and they are looking forward to having him there, too. Senator, great to see you, as always. Thanks so much.
Always my pleasure. Thanks, Maria.
Senator Kevin Cramer joining us. We'll be right back.